Nagorno Karabakh conflict execution video prompts war crime probe. All right. Where I'm not in my studio right now. I'm elsewhere, but I do need to do this update. And so that's why this looks a little different. There's a video that came out that they're investigating as war crimes. I'll get into that. There's apparently a couple Azeri soldiers assassinated a couple of prisoners of war, Armenian prisoners of war. But I want to go through a couple headlines first. So let me do that real quick. So yesterday I talked about the truce, and the U.S. has been talking and trying to get these people to stop killing each other. This is Al Jazeera from this morning. Where's the date line on this? October 24th. Clashes in Nagorno Karabakh after Washington talks. Azerbaijan reported fighting in and around Nagorno Karabakh despite Pompeo holding talks with both sides in Washington, D.C. That happened yesterday on Friday. Clashes broke out between Azerbaijani and ethnic Armenian forces over Nagorno Karabakh a day after talks in Washington, D.C. to try to end the deadliest fighting in the mountain enclave in more than a quarter of a century. I won't read all of this. You can, again, I'll put these links in the description, but a lot of this is a repetition and an overview, but it does talk about where on October 23rd and 24th, operations continue in these regions. So if you want to look up maps, see where that is. The troop numbers killed, which I haven't reported on. The Armenians are reporting their side. The Azerbaijanis are only reporting civilian casualties. So the Armenians are saying they have about 963 number of Armenian troops. So I don't know where the civilians are, but again, you can look at this yourself. I'm going to do this other article real quick before I get to that first one. So this is actually a really good article from NPR, and I think this is out. When did this come out? I think this is recent as well. Yeah, this is from today as well. It's an opinion piece from NPR. The U.S. can't afford to ignore the Nagorno Karabakh conflict. All right, good. And this guy who wrote this, he's General Philip Breedlove. Is a retired four-star general of the U.S. Air Force and former NATO Supreme Commander in Europe. He is now the distinguished chair of the Middle East Institute's Frontier Europe Initiative. For many Americans wrapped up in the presidential race, I'm losing the camera angle here. For many Americans wrapped up in the presidential race, it may have been easy to miss, but fighting is once again raging in the South Caucasus over the disputed region of Nagorno Karabakh. So his main argument in this article about not avoiding the conflict is primarily because it's an important. There's oil reserves. Basically, most of Europe, a lot of Europe actually, I don't know about most of it, but gets oil from Azerbaijan. It goes through Georgia into Turkey and over into Europe. And then also the Afghanistan conflict is down over here. And this is a prime port for supplies to U.S. troops over there or NATO forces. So it's an important region to the world. So this guy's main argument is that's a reason we need to pay attention to this. Obviously, we're more concerned with Armenia not being wiped out and eliminated, but this is a good article to read through to kind of inform yourself of how other people are viewing this on a geopolitical level. And then finally, I'm going to read most of this article because this is really why we need to pay attention to this. I did do a video earlier that showed two elderly women, and they're different points of view. One was saying God killed the Armenians, and the other one was saying, we had our Azerbaijani friends, but we can't be friends anymore. Right? That's very different. So this kind of highlights that difference. Nagorno Karabakh conflict execution video prompts war crimes probe. Let me read this. I'll try and read it quickly. It's a lot to go through here. One video posted on a messaging app shows what appears to be two Armenians in military uniforms being captured by troops from Azerbaijan. A second video seemingly shows the same Armenians being shot with their hands behind their backs. Armenian authorities have identified the men as Benik Hakobian, 73, and 25-year-old Yuri Adamian. Azerbaijan has dismissed the videos as fake. Europe's top human rights watchdog, the Council of Europe, has said it has received the video and will look into all alleged human rights abuses and take action where appropriate. Fighting erupted. Okay, there's a review there. So they think these guys were captured between October 9th and October 15th. So what is fact and what is fake? Combatants on both sides have released images and videos showing prisoners of war and the bodies of opposition soldiers. I haven't showed you any of these graphic images, but there are videos being released of dead bodies lying on the roadway, and it's the carnage of war, and maybe that's why a lot of people don't realize it's actually happening. You're not seeing those dead bodies. You see a cannon blowing up or a building collapsed afterwards, but when you see the dead bodies, that's the realism. And that's really what this article's about. The BBC has studied several videos circulated by the two warring sides on social media, allegedly showing prisoners of war being harmed or killed. Only these two videos were verifiably what they purported to be. In other words, a lot of the videos being released are just, and they talk about it in a minute, about it's from another conflict. It's propaganda. But these two videos, a video of these two guys being captured, and then later a video of them being shot, are verifiable, or that's what they're purporting here. One clip widely circulating on Telegram channels that claim to show an Azerbaijani prisoner of war being shot dead by Armenian soldiers is actually a video from Russia that first appeared on social media sites in 2013. Others lack enough detail to be verified. The pair of videos that the BBC has verified were posted on an anonymous Russian-language pro-Azerbaijan channel on Telegram messengers last week. I don't know what this Telegram, some app, I guess. What happens in the videos? The first video appears to show Armenians Benik Hakobian and Yuri Adamian being taken prisoner. And so here's a still from that video. This is obviously the younger man, and this is the older gentleman. On the video, someone speaking Russian with a heavy Azerbaijani accent orders the men to walk forwards, surrender any weapons, and raise their hands. That's something I've learned about meeting Armenians, especially from that region. They all speak Russian because it used to be a Soviet state. So they speak Armenian and Russian, at least those two languages. So even the Azerbaijanis speak Russian, and that's why they're speaking to the Armenians, because they all speak the same Russian. He speaks to the other soldiers in Azerbaijani, telling them to not to hit the captives. That's when they're being taken prisoner. The younger prisoner, Yuri Adamian, removes a helmet and his jacket before putting his hands in the air and walking out of shot. And although the older man, Benik Hakobian, is wearing a military-style camouflage jacket, it's unclear whether he is a soldier. He is pushed to the ground and appears to moan in pain. The first video was followed by a second that shows the apparent execution of two men. The prisoners appear to have their hands bound behind them and are draped in the flags of Armenia and the unrecognized Republic of Nagorno Karabakh. They are sitting on a small wall and can be seen moving slightly. Then someone orders in Azerbaijani, aim at their heads. Multiple shots are heard and the prisoners slump to the ground. Videos rejected as fake. The BBC has confirmed that the man giving commands in both videos is a native Azerbaijani speaker with a regional accent. The prisoners from the first video also appear to be the men being executed in the second, as they are wearing the same clothes. Azerbaijan's defense ministry quickly denied these were their troops and called the video a provocation. The clips were deleted shortly afterwards. The following day, Azerbaijan's prosecutor general announced that an investigation had concluded the videos were fake. So Azerbaijan prosecutor said, it's fake. But are they genuine? The BBC has studied the clips and confirmed that they were filmed in Hadrut, a town that has seen intense fighting. It is in the southern Nagorno Karabakh near Fuzuli. It's likely the videos were recorded at some point between the 9th and 15th of October. Azerbaijan announced that Hadrut had been taken on the 9th of October, although it later emerged that while they had taken some strategic heights around the town, fierce fighting was still going on for control of the town itself on the 12th of October. The first videos actually showing the Azerbaijan army in the town center appeared on October 15th. That's why they took the town on October 9th, and then the 15th is when you see video footage of their Azerbaijani troops taking over the town. The POW videos both appeared for the first time on October 15th. Bellingcat open source investigators were the first to publish their analysis into the authenticity of the videos. All right, so here's some of here's the video that was shot, and then here's satellite footage. So they're comparing. That's how they're locating. You know, they have experts that know the region and say, oh, it's from this city, and so this is where these two guys, if you can see them right here, and these buildings, these structures are compared to this satellite image. And so, okay, this is authenticated. That's where that is. The location of the first video is the side of the road in the northern part of Hadrut. In the picture above, there are 4 buildings appear. Okay, so just describing. And then the execution happens elsewhere. The execution clip seems to be filmed at the park, approximately a kilometer away in the south of the town. So here's the video of, I imagine, just before the execution, and then the satellite image of that location. So this tree is identified right here, and the corner of this wall is identified as right there. By cross-referencing a still from the video before the men were shot with a satellite view of the town and footage from local TV, it is possible to identify the exact location as the park next to Migraditchian Street. Bellingcat identified the same locations and time periods for both videos and confirmed that the helmets and rifles seen on the soldiers match those used, at least in some instances, by Azerbaijani servicemen. Here's another comparison from another angle. They wrote that their analysis would appear to indicate that these 2 men were indeed Armenian combatants who were captured between October 9th and October 15th by Azerbaijani soldiers, possibly special forces, and likely executed a short time later. Online commentators from Azerbaijan have questioned the authenticity of the clip by pointing out that the apparent lack of blood as a result of the shooting, but military experts interviewed by the BBC say the video looks genuine. Hollywood gives a poor reflection of what gunshot wounds look like, said Rob Lee, a military expert from the Department of War Studies at King's College London. The BBC spoke to a former British military intelligence officer who agreed to talk on condition of anonymity due to security reasons. They said, these are real bullets, this is a real killing, this is genuine, and I don't see any reason to assume it is staged. It talks about brain matter coming out. What does Armenia say? Armenia's human rights defender Arman Tatoyan has officially labeled Azerbaijan's execution of 2 prisoners of war as undeniable war crime. In these videos, members of the Azerbaijani army humiliate prisoners of war, and they brutally kill them with extreme cynicism, he wrote on Facebook. It goes on. You can read all this, and it really highlights the difference between, they show that the Armenians take prisoners of war and treat them well and bandage them up in the hospitals. And then, of course, Azerbaijan is releasing videos of the same where they have Armenian prisoners of war in hospitals. But this is the latest breaking news. So the United States has to get involved. The United States has to do something. I don't know. We've got an election coming. We're distracted by an election, the most distracting election in our history yet. And it's a perfect opportunity for bad actors around the world to take advantage while we're all focused on fighting each other. They're like, okay, the big dog in the world is not paying attention. Let's act. I don't know. Just spread the word. Our Christian brothers and sisters are being executed.